Until the 1st of February, I'm excited to be partnering with HelloFresh UK. Get money off fresh meal kits delivered to your door by using the discount link or the checkout code in the description below. Get 50% off your first box and 35% off the following 3, as well as 3 free gifts. If you want to see more from HelloFresh UK, then check out my social medias where I've been sharing my meals the last few weeks. And what's best, if you sign up, you help support the channel and you can cancel at any time. It's a defining season of cup football here in this Build a Nation save. We have got another big one this time, a quarter-final of the Irish Cup, and the difference between this competition and the rest, well, it offers us a route into Europe. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 57 of this Build a Nation save, Lifting Spirits with me, Daniel. We are back today, one game later than planned, because our final 2 league matches before the split have been separated by a big cup tie. We talked about the Irish Cup and taking an opportunity with a lot of the big sides going out early. Well, now we've got an opportunity. It is Cliftonville in the quarter-final, and if we look beyond it, there are not that many threats other than Coleraine. Ballymena may be a bit of a bogey side, but let's be honest, we would have taken that draw at the start. If we can avoid Coleraine, we have got no excuse not to win it, because looking at the league table, that would leave us as the best side left. So if you're looking forward to seeing if we can do it, whether we can get a result against Glentoran, who are really struggling down in 9th place, then please do put a thumbs up on it. It has been a fabulous stage of the season, and look at the title race at the top. Linfield and Larne with a game in hand, 5 points behind Coleraine. It is a massive finish to the season. It is really good to see so many teams competing and helping us out. And if they can all keep doing well in Europe, and if maybe we can join them next year, and hopefully we've got an opportunity to go to the next level. It's been long enough in waiting. We need to get to Europe now. So let's have a look at what's been going on off camera, and then we'll get into our 2 big games. Because since you were last with me, we've had quite a lot of matches actually, 8 in total. And while it didn't start that well, we had a bit of a hangover from that Linfield week. Since the fixtures have spread themselves out a bit, and crucially, since the period after that Larne game where we got to send everyone on holiday that needed it for a week, we have looked a lot better and a lot fresher. So since you were with me, we won 3-1 at home to Portadown. An own goal, a late Cameron Cooper finish, and Jaffet and Pardee got us the win. It was looking a bit frustrating up until the 90th minute, but it was a grandstand finish to say the least. A 4-0 defeat at Ballymena, we'll forget about that now. The bogey side, they did it yet again. It does seem we're only a bogey side to them away from home now though. A 0-0 draw against Warren Point was, well, what we needed after that Ballymena match. A very tense game followed it though. We almost went out of the cup to Ballymacash Rangers. James Convey popped up with a crucial equaliser. And then off the bench, we brought on some stars. Jaffet and Pardee, the one who saved the day. And to be fair to him, he did start quite slowly, but he's really growing into the shirt now. A 3-0 win followed against Crusaders. An early red card was a massive benefit for us here. We had Bell, Scott and Coffey amongst the scorers before a 2-1 defeat at home to Larne. Jonathan McElhatton with a late consolation. We deserve nothing from that game. I have no complaints. But then after a week's holiday for a lot of the stars, a 4-0 win against Dungannon, 2 for McElhatton, 1 for Williams, and an absolute screamer from Morgan Griffiths, followed by a 1-0 win at basement side Dergview. Ben Owen off the bench with a header from a corner. It wasn't a great performance, but we got the job done, and we managed to rotate a bit too. So now we look ahead to March. It is 2 big games before the league split. Then we should have a fair amount of time off again to send people on holiday. But the most important thing for me at the moment is that we try and get through in the cup, because I still feel that's our best chance at guaranteeing Europe. So let's go and get through to this Cliftonville game. We have got to try and get these boys on the front foot. 2 suspensions to key players is not going to help us. Ben Owen and Sean Daniels, and they were 2 who weren't fit enough to play the last game either. So we're going to have to make a few changes to the ones we like. But Griffiths and Bell had a rest at Dergview. They'll be coming back in now. So let's go and get this 11 picked. We'll be back in a minute to run through it. And here we go. It's not too far from full strength really. Of course we've got the 2 suspensions, but otherwise we look pretty strong. We've got Ethan Ross in goal, who's been in brilliant form. Wood and Bell the fullbacks, with Wilson Brown alongside Williams. Little bit worried about Wilson Brown. Since he agreed to join Coleraine in the summer, he's not been the same player. I might actually go and criticise his form before we start. Hart is in midfield alongside Whitehall. We're really going to miss Daniels today. And Pardee on the right, Scott on the left, and then Morgan Griffiths behind McElhatton. He's past 40 goals for the season now, and Pardee is off the mark and is starting to improve. And then with quality on the bench, including Cooper, who's maybe better but not had the best start, struggling a bit for goals. And that's perhaps in contrast to the likes of Convey and Coffey, who have been in brilliant form but aren't the best players. We've got a nice mix there if we need it. So let's go and get into the cup tie. It's a big quarter final. I'm going to have a quick chat with Wilson Brown. I'll meet you in a moment for kickoff. Here we go then. It is a big day for both of these football clubs, and both will see it as a genuine opportunity at Europe now. KLM Reid, our former player, has dropped to the bench. They've got some good players in there though. Chris McKee is a top striker, very similar to McElhatton actually. And the two Hales are in the side with McDonough, Levi Ives, who was sent off against us once, wasn't he? I'm not sure we'll get that today. They've got a number 45 in goal, which does give me a little bit of hope. Let's just go and have a quick look at him. Is he any good? Or is he a real backup keeper? Dempster is number 45. He is a 16-year-old. Okay, so we've got a young goalkeeper. Shoot on sight for McElhatton. Let's go and get through the challenge, through the tunnel interview, and into the first half at Cliftonville. Well, I know we like creating a boring cup tie, but my words, no shots on target in half an hour. Neither side really on top. So at half time, only one shot on target for us. And let's be honest, no real quality from either. Let's get into the second half. Let's push ourselves forward and hope we can find an outcome. And here we are with 52 minutes gone as Jim Wood on a yellow card nicks the ball high up the pitch. Has the chance to play forward but goes back to Williams. Don't really care how we play. Which game was it? Was it the Shield semi-final we played Cliftonville? We got absolutely outclassed but beat them 1-0 or 2-0 as Wilson Brown gives it to Whitehall and Hart to McElhatton. This is nice football. On the wide pitch, we've got plenty of space. Hart carries it forward again. Wide to Lewis Scott. Into Griffiths. Was he onside? He scores the goal, but I think we're going to get the whistle. Yes, we are. It was just off. It did look it. 3 changes made for Cliftonville. Reid is one of them, our former star. With an hour on the clock, we've had the better chance, but we haven't yet taken an opportunity. Our expected goals is 0.02. That's got to be a bit of a concern. I'm going to encourage these lads, try and push them on a little bit. I'm not sure we're getting the reaction we want. With 20 minutes to go, Morgan Griffiths has had a poor game. He is going to come off for Barry Coffey. We're also going to bring on Dobbin because Jim Wood is knackered and on a yellow. But the rest of it, I'm going to wait for now. 20 minutes to go, 2 changes made. Please let us get a reaction. I don't think it's coming, is it? We are not getting any sort of tune out of these lads. So let's take off Lewis Scott for Sean Moore. Big man at the back post. I'm looking on the right and Pardee struggling too. Latifa on for him. Do I do McElhatton? No, I tell you what. We're going to put McElhatton out to the right. And Pardee will actually be replaced by Cooper. I've had a chat with him about not taking his chances. So maybe it'll be the day he scores lots of goals. Bell will come off for Hammond. Fresh legs on the left. Let's see if we can get a late winner. It is 0-0 with 5 minutes to go. We've played pretty well in this game, but let's be honest, it's not been one for the purist. It's been a very poor match. We've been consistent, we've been solid, but we're not doing anything special. Don't know what that bench was doing in the background. It was having a lovely little shout at nobody on the pitch, wasn't it? We're going to keep going. We're going to win this, lads. Come on, be positive. Don't let it go to penalties again, because we've seen what we're like in the shootout. We have 5 minutes of extra time. We're going to try and hit them on the counter. We've got one more break again. Who can we bring on? We've got ideally to bring on a midfielder because they're knackered, but there's no option there. So I'm going to bring on Latifa for McElhatton, and I know it's a risk. Or do I do that with the penalty situation? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Coffey is going to go into the holding role. Who's better out of Hart and Whitehall? Hart is 5. Whitehall is 2. So against my better judgment, Hart will stay on. Whitehall will go off for Convey. Oh, here we are at the back with Coffey. In that holding role now. Wide to Hammond. He's got plenty of space to run into, and he is the fresher legs here. Over the top towards Cooper. It's a poor ball. Header away isn't any better. Cooper gets it wide to McElhatton. 3 in the middle if he can find the cross. Cooper's one of them. And he ends the goal drought. That's why you have the chat with the players. The individual chat is back. And Cameron Cooper, that's why we signed him in January. The 2 players that we paid a fee for in this save, albeit only small ones, they have combined to give us the lead. And again, against Cliftonville, we've not been great. But at the moment, we're heading through to the semis. as Wilson Brown picks the ball up at the back. Long towards Convey, who flicks on. Cooper will chase this. He might get there. He's fouled by the defender, is he? No. Moore gets the rebound, no. He's not missed that. He's hit both posts with an open goal. It dribbled across the line. It bounced back out. Oh, I can't take the agony there. That better not be a moment that costs us, because that's ridiculous. As Ethan Ross plays out from the back to Hammond, it looks like we've got the fresher legs and a better bench now. And this goes back to what I said last summer in the end of season review. We've got to make the squad better so we don't notice much when we make changes. And here, we've had game changers off the bench. McGrahatton delivers. Convey's in. It's 2-0. It's game over. We are going through to the Cup semi-final. And let's be fair, it's the substitutes making the difference. And that squad depth has come back to help us. 10 minutes to go, we can relax at last. Lisburn Distillery on their way to the semis. Just looking at the latest scores, all of the favourites and all of the away sides get through. Ballin and Millard are through as well. The team we can't pronounce the name of, we could be facing in the semis. We just want to avoid Coleraine. Maybe Ballymena put them out and we face them in the final. That would be the plan. Let's go and get through to the Glentoran match, a big one in the league as well. Thankfully, we've got 10 days off now, and I'm sure we'll have the cup draw in between. Here is the cup draw then. One lower league side we've beaten in a cup already, and two good sides from the top tier. I think you know who I'd like to face. Let's see if we get it at home, and let's go through the draw, because it's only 4 teams. Match 1, we'll go at speed times 3. Don't want to bore you to death. Here we go. Please don't be Coleraine. That's all I'm asking. I'll take either of the others. Pull me out against Ballin and Millard. Here we go. Please be Distillery. It is Coleraine. So at least we've avoided them. Now look at the positives. If we can get through Ballymena United and the second tier side cause a shock against Coleraine, we could be playing lower league opposition in the final. We're away to Ballymena. That's not ideal. But with the semi-final done, I'm pretty happy with that. We've avoided the biggest boy in the draw. We'll see how that works into the league split. But either way, that is going to be part of the next one. So let's go and get through to Glentoran. That's a big game to be played. And in fact, the semis are at Windsor Park as well. So we're going to be going to a neutral venue. Back in a moment. Here we go then. After a good week and a half rest, we head away to Glentoran, who will be in the bottom half. It is settled already. They are going to struggle because if they don't get 7th, it's going to be a big turnaround to get European football next year. We're looking at the rest of it though, and the title race has gone nuts. Larne and Linfield won their first game in hand each. They beat lower half opposition, and then Larne played against Coleraine and got a draw. They play again today. Linfield at the same time got a win, and they are now top. 2 points separate the top 3. They've been brilliant all season. It's so good to have a competitive league, and if we can get up there, it's going to be one hell of a 4-horse title race every year. I'm going to try and do it without taking any of their players, and ideally, if we need to sell to them, we will. But let's go and get through to the tactical meeting. We've got to try and get into Europe for the first time. Glentoran still got good players, still got a big wage bill, but they are not doing as well as they should be. For us, we should have a few players back today. Daniel's not suspended, neither is Ben Owen. So let's go and get the best 11 picked, and we'll be back in a moment for kickoff. Well, exactly what you expected from us. Ben Owen and Sean Daniels have come back in for Hart and Wilson Brown. Wilson Brown misses out altogether. Hart is on the bench for Convey. And if we look at the teams today, well, they are pretty strong, aren't they? The manager's still the same, Stephen Baxter. I know that's controversial in itself, but still, he's not managed to be sacked despite being in the bottom half. Marshall, Finlayson. Look at McCartan, Roy and Bell as a front three as well. Chris Johnston, our former Lone Star, is on the bench, as is Robbie McDade. They have got a really good squad. I'm not quite sure why they're struggling so much, but either way, we're going to tell the lads to pick up where they left off. A few of them motivated. They're all pretty fit. So let's go and see today if we can make it count. We want a strong start. We want to be good. I'm going to start balanced because they are a bottom half club. And if it does end up being a little bit backs to the wall, then we'll revert to our usual away at the big teams, as Marshall's got a free kick early on. Lots of these sides playing with wide pitches as well, which I'm not sure it actually helps a lot of them. As Austin goes back to his centre-half, Finlayson over the top, Bell against Williams, Williams wins it, Whitehall's back pass is not the best. Ross makes enough of it though, finds Curtis Bell. He comes down the left to Scott, has support, but lovely little turn there, back to Bell again, the left back. He finds Daniels in midfield, into Whitehall in the centre circle, acres of space, carries it forward to Mpardi, nearly said McGill there, back to Griffiths, what a volley that is! And that is the individual quality that man has got. He had a poor game in the cup. It wasn't his best day at the office. But that is absolutely stunning. Morgan Griffiths, the man we signed blind last summer. I just hope when we get to the end of this season that someone else similarly pops up, because he is a gem. What a player. Great long shot rating, great technique, and he has delivered a big one. 5 assists, 7 goals is not a bad first season, and the youngster is improving all the time, and we've got a 1-0 lead. And here we are attacking again, this time on the right-hand side with Wood. Big cross into the back post, which Marshall heads away. McCartan's pass to Austin and a pump forward. But Bell's flicking it on for no one. They've got no support up there. And maybe they're just being a little bit defensive, going into their shell with a lack of confidence now. As Lewis Scott charges down the left-hand side. We're playing with plenty of it, to be fair. Into McElhatton, it's headed away. Only as far as Scott again. Deflection takes it up. I've no idea what the defenders were doing. But McElhatton puts his shot wide. He just about manages to miss-hit it. And it's almost out for a goal kick, as it's Mpardi who puts the ball in. Scott's header saved well. Marshall clears away. Almost out for a throw-in is what I meant to say a moment ago, as Andrew Bell comes down the left-hand side. Plenty of space to run into, and he is a proper superstar at this level. Delivers the cross, Bell heads away, only as far as Gowdy. He gets to the byline, cross is deflected, and that's going to be a corner kick. Glentoran coming back into it. A very quiet 20 minutes from them. But now they're starting to put pressure on. Ballymena winning away from home behind my head as well. They've gone to Portadown and done well there. As Owen heads away to Scott. Look at this counter now. Austin just wins it back off the poor touch. We had a 2-on-1 momentarily. We always leave 2 on the edge of the box and 1 up from corners. And it almost paid off there. We've been the better side. We deserve to be ahead. And now we've got another corner with Daniels. Owen has popped up with a couple recently here. Can he do the same today? Up towards him and Williams headed away. Griffiths back into Whitehall. Time to turn and shoot. What on earth is the defending back there? The foul's been given for something. Offside? Are you sure about that? I'm going to have another little look here. So the corner comes in. Daniels takes it to the back post. We're watching for when Griffiths puts it back into the box. Headed away there. Is Whitehall offside? Maybe just. This guy here at the back post, O'Kane, maybe close to playing him on. We could have done with VAR in this league for that. Unfortunately not to be. He took it really well, Whitehall too, but it doesn't count. 10 minutes to the break, 1-0 to Distillery. We have really played well. Glentoran not much of an opposition today. We've done our job as O'Kane. Are we going to regret it only being 1? We need another chance. Owen wins it back on halfway to Griffiths. Long ball forward isn't great. McElhatton is coming off the boil a little bit now, but I think we can forgive him after 41 goals this year. As Finlayson goes over the top, Owen's done poorly. Bell gets through 1-on-1. Shots over the bar. I'm still not convinced by Ben Owen, both his attitude and his outlook during games. But at half-time, no complaints about this. Everyone's delighted. We're playing well. Now let's see if we can replicate it in the second half. As we're back with Griffiths high up the pitch here, winning the ball back for Daniels and Owen. Again, a little bit more composed in possession, playing some nice stuff. Bell gets the ball back to Owen again. He finds Curtis Bell and Daniels. Back into Owen at centre-half. Curtis Bell again, lovely passing. No rush to get it forward, creating space and a side overload there. Whitehall can go right to Mpardi. Space to run into, carries it forward. Chance to shoot from the edge of the box. He never really looked convincing there. Over the bar it goes. It stays 1-0, but we are playing really well. We're going to look at subs in a moment. Owen struggling at the back. He's picked up a knock. So what can we do there? Can either of the lefties play centre-half? Bell can a little bit. Hammonds a little bit as well. But what I'm going to do is push Williams and Wood across one. Dobbin will come on at right back. I'm also looking at Lewis Scott on the left. He'll be replaced by Sean Moore. And we'll leave the rest for a little while. But looks like again McElhatton struggling. If he doesn't score a goal soon, it can be Cameron Cooper to save us again. But at 1-0 with a really good display. I don't want to change too much too soon here. But I'm going to do so now. Bell will come off with 15 to go. Hammond on at left back. McElhatton off. He'll be replaced by Cameron Cooper. And we've got a corner kick by the looks of it. Not that we're going to see the highlight. 10 minutes to go. Final sub. I think it's going to be Daniels because I've got no more defenders there. He has had a couple of weeks off. He's played all right. Is it really worth changing it? Probably not. I'm going to leave it for now. Let's get through the last 10 minutes. Glentoran have been no threat. Let's praise the lads. Let's try and push them forward. Let's try and get a second goal here. Whitehall is now struggling for fitness. He'll be replaced by Taylor Hart imminently. But for now, it's more on the left-hand side. Can we wrap it up? Hammond plays a 1-2 with him. The subs combining. Big ball over towards Cameron Cooper. He chases down the channel. Finlayson not comfortable. But he does well with it in the end. Big punt downfield to halfway. Our defence has fallen asleep there. Kelly to Austin, who goes over the top. Wood deals with it well. Out to Hammond on the left-hand side. He carries over halfway. Again, the big pitch meaning no pressure. Moore puts it through. Morgan Griffiths in. Scored early in the game. Nearly scored again. Should have taken that one, really. And he is a lot better with those long-range chances. When he gets in and he's got time to think, the composure maybe not there. Doesn't matter too much though. We do win 1-0. And away from home, we've delivered a great display. Let's go and continue. Look at the schedule. See when it's going to be back. Well, here we go. Fitness concerns again, but we will get to rest people now, so there's no worries about that. We're going to have a big role in the title race as well, because we are in that top 6 of the split. Cliftonville and Ballymena at the other 2 sides. Let's have a look at the schedule though, because our next game, I think, is in just over 2 weeks' time. So the plan is everyone that needs to goes on holiday for a week. Then we get a week of intensive training, or part-time training, I should say. And then we will be back for Ballymena in the Irish Cup semi-final and Larne away from home. Our first game after the league split and a big one in this title race. Don't forget, we should have a youth intake by then as well. So if you're looking forward to all of that and you did enjoy this episode, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Our defensive solidity is coming back, but when we face the big sides, it might be a bit different. If you want to stay up to date and find out if it is and whether our youth intake has any gems, then please do subscribe and turn that notification bell on. We'll be back here in a couple of days' time as we are now 2 games from Europe in the Irish Cup. But can we get through our bogey side and then avoid Coleraine? That's going to be the big question. Fingers crossed we'll be able to do all of that, but in the meantime, we'll be back with the head coach tomorrow. We've got a big finish to the season to come in that one. I hope you're looking forward to it. There's also links up there to the football podcast, the Twitch channel, and the sponsor HelloFresh as well. Please do check them out if you haven't already. It's a big support to the channel and of course gets you a discount too. And we'll be back here in a couple of days' time. Big games all the way to the finish now. I hope you'll come and join me for it. And in the meantime, I'll put yesterday's head coach above my head now.